Volume 5 of the Songwriter Sessions here at Wilson Valley Mercantile. Today we're going to talk with our host, Ely Buck Davis, and our next guest for the Songwriter Roundup at Wilson Valley Mercantile, Ryan Dale. This is in anticipation of the August 7th installment of the Songwriter Roundup here at Wilson Valley Mercantile. Y'all enjoy. All right, so Ryan, glad to have you here with us, and Ely, glad to have you with us too. Let's just delve into some questions here, and I tell you, Ryan, tell us about your work and how would you describe your sound and the kind of stories that you like to tell through your music.
Yeah, most of it. Appreciate you having me too, by the way. I'm excited for the 7th coming up, August 7th. I think we got the date
I
right.
appreciate you throwing that out there because Ely and I could mess it up.
So yeah, my style of music is it's live through most of it. All the songs I write are either about me personally or I have some connection to someone else personally. I tend to just use what life gives me as my canvas to write. As far as sound goes, like I take from all kinds of different people. I'm a huge fan of Jason Isbell, a huge fan of Hayes Carl, John Prine,
Yeah.
Joe Ely. I mean, I could go on and on about the folks that I look up to as music and the folks that have paved the way. And I just feel lucky to do it. You know, I used to do it as a full-time job. That was my job, was to play music. And, you know, I did that for a while and I feel grateful that I was able to. But now I just do it just because I just still really love doing it.
Well, that's probably a good place to be. You can do it because you enjoy it and you love it, but still have plenty of food on the table, hopefully, at the end of the day with whatever's got you your full-time employment type thing.
Well, yeah. So I'm wearing this pool shirt. So right now I'm actually working for a pool company. I'm a pool tech by day, a
Nice.
troubadour by night. So
That
it's not
sounds
a
like a
bad.
good song. I don't know. I don't claim to have the ability to write songs, but that sounds like a great song.
I'm working
Do
on
you
it.
work on blow up hot tubs? I have a Coleman blow up hot tub. I don't have a pool, but
I could help you out.
okay. Been having some plumbing issues on that thing.
I hear you.
By the way, I want to say we have some of the same, or almost, I think all the same heroes, at least the ones you listed out so far. And man, did they set the standards high.
Oh,
Jason
absolutely.
Isbell, I mean, it, Gracie, my wife, doesn't like listening to him because he makes her cry. You know, Elephant, you know, I make her listen to that one all the time because it's such a smart song. It's such an
It is.
intelligent song, but it is sad, you know, but that's part of, it's part of it. But yeah, they set the standards high. A good
Yeah.
role models to
You
have.
know, unfortunately, you know, some of these songs come from sad times. You know, but the way I always looked at it too is like, well, if I write it down, that's a part of getting through the healing, the grieving, whatever that process is.
Exactly.
That's my way of, you know, some people journal, some people go on walks. I pick up a guitar, so that's what it is for me.
Well, I know you've performed quite a bit around Texas and at a number of song swaps, right?
Sure.
And in fact, I met you for the first time not too long ago down the road at Wahlberg with Jake one evening, Jake Whalen. You know, what do you enjoy most about those kind of intimate performances and sharing in those venues?
Yeah, I think when you get an audience that really tunes in and listens to what you're doing, it it just makes you feel great as a songwriter to like, oh wow, somebody was not, you know, inspired or touched or moved or whatever the case may be. But when they're actually listening and they're getting in tune, like you can feel that from the stage. You know when people are listening, when they're hanging on every word and every note, and you know, even the times where you might mess up, you know, they're hanging on that too, but it feels like a shared experience. And I think that's what I love most about those quiet rooms, the listening rooms, if you will. Saxon Pub is another great one that we've played at numerous times. And it's just nothing compares to that feeling of everybody kind of being together, the song. You know, sure, I'm up there singing it and I'm up there playing it, but I feel like the audience is just as much a part of the performance as I am. So I love playing those rooms.
It gives me some faith in humanity too, you know, because you know, hundreds of years ago, people could sit through a 3 hour opera. And over time, our attention span has gotten, as a, as a community as a whole, we're watching 5 second videos on Instagram or what. And I'm guilty of it too. I flip through Instagram and get that little boost of whatever from that.
What were we talking about again, Ely? I forgot. What?
What? But yeah, to see people come to those listening rooms and like you said, hang on to every word. It's like, it does make you feel good. There's still people out there that appreciate the art of what we do,
So one thing I want to bring back around, and Ely and I had a conversation earlier. He said he was going to bring this up, but I want to set him up to bring it up. He and ask about the work that you did with an album you did with Jake, and then Ely, what was the other part you were talking about?
So when I first met y'all were doing the Dale and Wayland thing, and I think we were on some of the same builds at some festivals down south in New Braunfels, and I was very impressed, obviously, and I was a fan before I became y'all's friend. I'm glad to be y'all's friend now, but I was definitely a fan
Appreciate
first.
it.
But I remember talking to some of those people around those camps. They're like, "Oh, you should have been here when they were Green Whiskey." So I'm like, what's Green Whiskey about? Was that a band? Was that a duo or
It was a band. So it
full
was
band?
Jake and I. Yeah, so it was Jake and I. Jake's dad played bass for
Oh,
us,
cool.
and then we kind of had a revolving door of drummers.
Yeah, that happens.
I don't. I feel like that's a constant. Finding a steady drummer is pretty tough, but yeah, we were a little more rock influenced,
Okay.
a little more electric. So I had a Fender Telecaster and a bright red. It was a Fender Deluxe red hot just amp that was just literally go to 11.
Yeah.
Um, and we kind of did a little more rock. Um, still very much like you know with the twang to it, but yeah, we actually recorded one album at Airy Studios in Austin under that Green Whiskey name. I'll bring some of those CDs for
Are
y'all. I
those
still have
are
them.
those not out where we can find them online?
No, we've taken them off.
Okay, well then
So
I definitely need a hard copy.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll bring you one.
What's
If there's any chance you have a vinyl, I know a guy who'd want one of those because I'm trying to have a collection of vinyl from all these folks around here. If there is one,
Okay.
I'll take a
Yeah,
CD.
I've got some Dale and Wayland vinyl.
So Jake has set me up with a Dale and Wayland vinyl. It's actually sitting behind Ely.
Okay.
Oh, it sure is. So
Yeah.
did you take? I'm just curious. Did you take any of the songs from that project into your other projects at all, or your solo project or anything?
There were a couple that didn't make the cutting room floor of the Green Whiskey album
Mm-hmm.
that ended up just kind of they were always a part of
Live.
the live album or the live shows. They were always a part of that. And we just never got around to recording it. And there's a couple that I've done solo that I've recorded that I'm kind of sitting on, but I'm going to release all those that have always been like a staple, but just have never been recorded.
Gotcha.
But yeah, all those songs, there might be a couple that I can remember how to play, and I bet Jake would say the same thing. Some of those were just our maturity as songwriters then was just a little different.
Yeah.
It was, I write about drinking and I write about trucks and I write about all that kind of stuff, but it was mostly just about drinking songs. It
Yeah.
was kind of the name fits. It was Green Whiskey.
We
So,
got to start somewhere. So
right. But no, I was proud of that. We spent a lot of time rehearsing, and then that was our first studio experience. So going into a real studio where it's like, no, you need to get this right. It's way different than live.
yeah.
It's a little more pressure. Because you're also spending money. You're not just there to try to hopefully make a few dollars in the tip jar. So I love that album still. There's some pictures on the cover of it that make me laugh to see us in that time. But I also look back with fondness and just think, man, that was a long time ago, but it was great.
Yeah. I look forward to checking those out.
Me
Yeah,
too.
I'll bring some.
So, talking a lot about experience here, what's advice you'd give for somebody starting out?
Don't stop. When you first start out, whether it's just really learning just to play guitar, that even if guitar is not your chosen method of, making music, whether it be piano, trumpet, mandolin, drums, bass, just don't give up on it because it's going to make you want to give up on it. There's a learning curve where you kind of just want to throw the thing out the window and say, "Oh, my fingers hurt. I'm never doing it again. I can't figure this one thing out. It doesn't make sense." And you just got to keep doing it. If you love it, you just power through it, power forward through it. Same with songwriting. I talked about those green whiskey songs, and I kind of make me cringe now. But we were using that muscle, and it's the songwriting is the same as anything else. You have to keep doing it. Not every song is going to be a hit. Not everyone is going to, be this great thing. But you just keep writing, and you keep writing, and you keep playing, and eventually you'll get one or two out of that. So yeah, don't give up is my advice.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
I like
fantastic
that.
advice. What's next for you?
Right now I took this job doing the pool thing after having a business. I own several businesses. I was a restaurant owner, bar owner. Those things were successful in their own way, but it was time to let them go. And as far as music goes, I'm starting to get back into it. When I spent so much time and effort on that form of creation, as far as a restaurant and bar goes, I kind of let the music stay on the back burner, and I'm ready to get back out and start doing it again. I always pick it up and play. I just haven't been writing as much as I like, but I also I think there's a season for everything. I think there's ebbs and flows with songwriting and just your whatever time of life that you're in. You need to give yourself space to also relax and not put so much pressure on the craft. But I feel it calling to me again, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Good.
That's good. That's real good.
I gotta say, I know you people in the Ryan brought up his restaurant business, and it got me thinking. I know you people in the culinary business are very particular about labels, so I don't want to mislabel you. But in my opinion, Ryan's a pretty damn good chef. A
Thank you.
damn good chef. I don't know if you consider yourself a chef or what, but I'm just saying, from my opinion, you're a chef. He chefs it up.
That, yeah, thank you. And it means a lot to me. I used to say, "Oh, well, I didn't go to school, to be a chef." And then I think, "Well, I didn't go to school to be a songwriter." I
Yeah.
consider myself that. I didn't I didn't go to school for a lot of things that I consider myself proficient at. So I think, I've learned to take that label and apply it to what I've done because I was the chef.
Yeah.
I was the chef owner of a restaurant, and I did make some pretty good
Well,
food.
I think when you have the standards that you do with your music and with your culinary work, and you pay homage to the people that did it before you, I think that gives you the right to call yourself a songwriter or musician because you know all about Anthony Bourdain. I'm sure you could talk about him all day because you did your homework and you appreciated that craft. It's just as you could talk about Townsend Zett and Guy Clark with me all day too.
Right.
And I think that gives us the right to take that label because we know what the hell we're talking about.
Right. That's well said. Yeah.
Guys, we've covered pretty well everything I had on the list today. Appreciate y'all being here and talking. And
Of
Thanks
course.
for having us.
I'll toss back out there that this is in anticipation of the next Songwriter Roundup, which will be August
The 7th.
at 6 p.m. at the infamous Wilson Valley Mercantile. Thank y'all very much.
Thanks, Ryan.
Of course. Thank you. Thanks, guys.